Yo, K-Kunnnn here. Today I got early access to Pulchara. Here are my thoughts, how I build her, and how I use this hot cat lady. And before we get into it, I would like to say I'm not a furry, but still would. So Pulchara is the first of her kind to be an off-field stunner agent who uses the new attack system called the Aftershock mechanic. So let's head straight to her most important part of her kit. That's important too, but her core passive is what makes her do a good amount of daze damage to the enemy with a 30% increase in daze for 6 seconds, which will enter the Hunter's Gait state, which has a 6-second duration when you're on field, and when you switch to another character, the duration becomes practically infinite, but when you switch back to her, the countdown will start again. Her additional ability activates when you have someone in the same faction, aka Sons of Caledon, or an attacker unit. And the ability applies Binding Trap. I want that to be applied to me as well. And it lasts for 15 seconds, which will increase all aftershock damage by 30%, which you can apply to the enemies by doing a special attack, Nightmare Shadow, EX skill special attack, assist follow-up, chain attack, and using her ult. Now to put her into the Hunter's Gait state, you have to use an EX skill, doing evasive assist, aka her way of parrying, using her ult, and chain attacking with her. The two most consistent way to do this is to do her evasive assist or using her EX skill from my experience with playing around with this kitty cat. And to activate her coordinated attacks, it will prompt you with a quick assist if you do her EX skill on her, or if you somehow didn't press it in time, you can do a whole basic attack to activate the quick assist again. Now when you swap onto the other characters, you have to press your skill or E or EX skill. It doesn't matter if you have energy or not, it should activate, showing a translucent fire text on the screen. The coordinated attacks goes up to 5 times, and if you have M6, it's 7 times, with each hit doing her skill animation attack, with the final hit doing her third basic attack and damaging the enemies a good amount if it crits. Now her ult has a cute but goofy animation, and shooting the enemy's balls, it will again put her into the Hunter's Gait state and doing big PP damage. Her basic and dodge isn't really important, you won't really use these two that much except her whole basic attack if you miss the quick assist prompt or you're doing like DPS Pulchara. Kinda base though. It's kind of a crime of Hoyoverse making a voluptuous character design and making her spend less time on field. Now let's move on to the build section. So here's my stats, not perfect, very relatable F2P stats, right? Here are her skills, and the priority I would go for is core passive first, then EX skill, ult, and then you can basically level up her evasive basic dodge if you want to, but you don't have to. If you're going DPS, basic, EX, ult, dodge to like evasive, and then core passive last, I guess. Her disc drives obviously go for the new Sambi set called the Shadow Harmony with a 2-piece shocker disc drive, or you can go energy disc drives because it takes a while to get her EX skill up, so I can see people running her with this for that sole reason. I'm displaying the main stats on the screen, so go for those. Impact is very important on her, so put that on her 6th disc drive slot. Substats, the usual priority of like crit rate, crit damage, attack, then pen, attack, and then like whatever you want to with like anomaly proficiency. So yeah. So for Wengine, you can go for her signature Wengine called the Box Cutter, which is tailor-made for her. In this description, upon launching an Aftershock, the equipper's physical damage increases by 15% and daze increases by 10%, lasting for 10 seconds. But if you don't have this, if you somehow have the Hell's Fire gears, you can pretty much use this for Pulchara since it synergizes with her really nice, especially with this energy regen, since you don't really have to be on field with her, and whenever you're using like an EX skill, your impact will increase by another 10% and stacking up to 2 times, which is really nice. And for any F2P option, the golden standard is always Steam Oven. This thing gives you a lot of like energy regen, and it will increase your impact as you increase its refinement. It's a pretty solid weapon overall. You can use the precious fossilite core, but this is only good for like short-term fights, like really short fights where you can do like one rotation on the enemy and it will basically kill them in that one rotation. But hey, if you have this, I mean, sure, but I always recommend the Steam Oven over this. If you have the BP weapon, I mean, you could probably use this as well. I haven't used this on anybody on my stunner team, so I mean, It's pretty good. It has impact, and in the passive over here is pretty nice as well. So use it if you have it. And side note, the design of her weapon kind of reminds me of like those razor shavers that those barber uses. Well, for her, it's a revolver and a spiky handle. So here's the unscripted version of me. Take it away. Yo, unscripted version me again. Welcome back to the rotation section of this video. So let's do this with our Ellen Joe, the most power crap unit right now in ZZZ, using Pulchara. Now we could probably do this so we can damage boost her. Okay, and then we could probably parry this one, and then there we go. We can stun her now. Then activate our EX skill so that we can activate Pulchara's aftershock damage, and then we can refresh that aftershock, and then we could probably do another EX skill to activate it, and then we could probably go to Sokaku so we can buff our Ellen Joe. There we go. Then we could reactivate this, go to Sokaku to just basically apply the buffs to Ellen Joe. There we go. Pretty nice and slick. And then do an EX skill so we can get Pulchara in there, or Pulchara in there. There we go. Okay, getting more of these. Set up Sokaku stuff. Okay, I can probably just ult this and then give it to Ellen Joe. There we go. And then we can just EX kill and then E with Ellen Joe so we can get the same thing. There we go. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. We can do another EX kill so that we can activate Ultra stuff. Okay, go to Sokaku so we can refresh the buffs. Go to Ellen Joe, and this should probably be the rotational kill. Okay, and then I could probably just ult here and then do an EX kill just to finish it off. And there we go. Easy peasy. Lycon? Bruh, I think Lycon's probably... Nah, I don't think he's power pro. I think we just have a hotter version of Lycon in the team now. Yes, well, I mean, to be fair, Lycon's kind of hot as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the rotation over there. Pretty simple. You don't have to worry about going to an on-fielder. You just have to do like a simple EX skill on Ellen Joe, and she will just do her job really, really well. As you can see, she's the MVP. I don't know how the scoring system worked, but I guess she's the MVP, alright. So the placement of this team, it does matter. So I put Pulchara in the middle so that whenever I do her EX skill, it will go back to Ellen Joe, because how her quick assist works is similar to Set, where it goes back to the previous character instead of the frontline character, which is like Sokaku in this case. Yeah, again, you could probably run this team and it should work perfectly nice, especially if you have like M6 Pulchara, bruh. She's gonna be whack and pretty nice to play around with, since you don't have to worry about like on-fielding a stunner. She'll just do her job really, really nicely. Pretty good. Stock standard over here. The premium team right now, we should probably use this if you have Astra. Next one, Comfy Pin King team over here. Again, you apply shield to Anbi so that she can get damage boost and then go back to Pulchara so that you can apply the Hunter's Gait and go back to Anbi and start doing your DPS rotation while being protected and interrupt resisted. So this is pretty nice. Here is the free-to-play option. You could probably run Nicole so you can def shred the enemies, and then go to Anbi and go to Pulchara to activate your Hunter's Gait, and go back to Anbi and do your DPS rotation and refresh the defense shred from Nicole whenever her EX skill is up to go. Next one is similar case, similar thing with the Nicole team. Whenever Lucy's buff or EX skill is available, use it and then switch into these two to do their damage rotation and setup rotation. Yeah, same thing over here. I feel like I'm just gonna freaking repeat myself over and over, but the squad 3, squad 4, and squad 5 is basically the same rotation over here. And squad 6, imagine 4-star Ambi as trigger. So this team is probably going to be like the most unique and fun out of all of these, since it's two aftershock characters, and seeing those two do like 2 coordinated attacks at the same time, that's gonna be sick, bruh. That's the team section and team yapping session over here. Back to the scripted version of me. So let's move on to her Mindscapes. So M1, when dealing damage to enemies affected by binding trap, increase on crit rate by 10%. so free crit rate there. M2, well, in Hunter's Gait state from core passive Hunter's Instinct, Pulchara's attack is increased by an additional 10%, so more attack, more damage I guess. M4 reduces cost of activating EX skill by 5, so this helps with energy management on her kit. M6, special attack Rending Claw, Nightmare Shadows damage is increased by 15%, and the number of times the repeated attack can trigger is increased by 2, so it's now 7. Additional ability Business Partner's Binding Trap effect now also applies to all damage type, not just aftershock damage, so that 30% is not only available for aftershock but everything else. So this is why M6 is broken on her. So is she worth your pulls? So there's an event where you can get her for free, so that's already a plus. If you just want one copy, sure, why not? In the aesthetics department, I get it if you don't like anthropomorphic designs. Her gameplay is literally press one button and you won't see her in the next 5 seconds, and just swap onto her when you're doing like an evasive assist or EX skilling whenever you have like to refresh your coordinated attack stacks. So I'd say she gets better if you keep getting multiple copies, especially with M6. And if you're pulling for Sambi, you'll get some copies, surely. So here's my pros and cons. F2P options for off-field stunning, since she's the only one right now, becomes a general off-field support at M6. F2P support for aftershock characters and in the future as well. Easy brain dead swap on and swap off gameplay, and a voluptuous cat lady. She's an A rank. Well, if you only have like one copy of her, she's kinda like not to her full potential. Elemental counter synergy with Sanbi. I mean like Sanbi's electric, and most of the time you're fighting Sanbi with like giant robots that are electric weakness, and sometimes those electric robots are not really good against physical attacks, so stunning them will take like 10 years to do it. So you kinda want all of her Mindscapes, especially 4 and 6. Uses a lot of your assist points, especially if the enemy's not stunned yet. Bro, good luck trying to stun the enemies with her. If you think you don't have enough pulls for her copies, you're wrong, buddy. The devs told me to say this. You players, right now, you're in for a treat. You can get to 70 gacha tickets and 70 Boopon vouchers, which can be obtained via events and free resources as you play the game. And by joining the Road to Proxy Greatness, which is not the final name, so just check the live version when the update comes out, players can get 1,600 polychromes, 40 standard pulls, 65 Boopons for free. Additionally, new players will receive a mail that contains 20 standard gacha tickets plus 5 Boopons, and you can also have access to the 7-day login bonus, which you can get 10 limited gacha pulls plus 10 Boopon vouchers. Returning players will have access to the 7-day login bonus to get the limited gacha 10 pulls plus the 10 Boopons. Plus, ZCC has like a ton of events lined up in the first half, so the only thing you'll have to do is win the 50-50. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this casual guide. Subscribe so I can stay in the basement, like for the algorithm, and leave down in the comments below what are your thoughts and opinion about Pulchara's gameplay wise and aesthetic wise. I like it. I'm not a furry, but I like it. Her gameplay is similar to Astra, off-field damage dealer or off-field support. But yeah, again, thank you for the 1K subscribers. Really appreciate the support on this content and watching my shit post videos. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye. Mwah.